Hey guys, it is the 9th. It is a beautiful spring day, and I'm finally back to do a vlog update for Camp NaNoWriMo. So for days 4 through 6, I didn't do any writing. I just have not been in the mood to revise. I think I'm a little burnt out from revising. So because of that, I didn't want to vlog and have nothing to tell you about because obviously right now things are pretty slow all around the world. We're not allowed to do as much, so there's just not much to vlog. So without writing related content, I feel like I had nothing to say. So for those 3 days, I didn't vlog at all. And then on the 7th, I kind of did something bad that some people might be annoyed with me because I am supposed to hurry and finish draft 2 of the network so I can do beta reading in the summer. However, I decided to take a break from revising and jump into some drafting. So on the 7th, I started the first draft of The Council, which is the sequel to the network. I know I'm ridiculous and I really should be focusing on the network, but I am just so sick of revising and feeling a little uninspired with the project right now. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to waste this month. I want to have fun during Camp NaNoWriMo and get something done. So drafting the sequel is better than wishing I was revising the first book. That's my logic anyways. So on the 7th, I only wrote about 500 words because I was just kind of dipping my toes into the new book. However, yesterday, the 8th, I wrote a little over 1,000 words. So I had a good session yesterday, and I'm hoping I'll have another good one today. But I am just loving this chapter. I'm having so much fun with it. It opens with action right away because I love action. I love urban fantasy for that reason because I feel like it's a very action-packed, fast-paced sort of genre. A lot of times other fantasy subgenres like high fantasy, epic fantasy type things just move really slowly for me, and there's just so much intense world building that I get a little bit bored. But with urban fantasy, I just feel like you can just get right down to business, have some freaking vampire fights or, elves smacking each other or whatever, you're doing in your urban fantasy, and it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm already well into a pretty intense action scene with some pretty brutal injuries happening and suspense, and I'm hoping the reader will be on the edge of their seat wondering what the heck is going to happen, and then suddenly things will resolve and they'll be able to breathe a sigh of relief and everything will be fine. But I'm having a lot of fun. I think more than anything, I'm having so much fun because I just missed drafting, which I didn't realize I did because honestly, when I drafted the network for the first time in November of 2018, that's when I started that draft. It was such an intense kind of chore thing. I was trying to meet all the word counts for NaNoWriMo and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really focusing on creating the story. Whereas now with the sequel, I'm just sort of slow drafting and I'm able to just enjoy it a lot more and just, enjoy the journey, I guess. Plus, I think all of this time I've spent on revising for the past few months has helped me kind of recognize the things I tend to underwrite in my first drafts. So I'm paying a lot more attention to that with this draft. And I think overall, this first draft will be longer and more complete than the first draft of the network, which hopefully will help me out when I go to revise, because I think that's one of the biggest struggles with revising the network is not only am I editing what I have in the first draft, because it's such a bare bones draft, I'm actually having to draft a lot of new stuff and a lot of new descriptions. I have to flesh out action scenes. I have to add more character development and character interaction between the three protagonists. There's a lot missing from the first draft that I'm having to now add to the second draft. So if I can make the first draft of the council longer and more detailed than the first draft of the network, I think I will appreciate myself. I will appreciate drafting Dawn when I am revising Dawn for the council. But yeah, my plan for the rest of the month is kind of loosey-goosey. I'm hoping I'll get through about 2 chapters of the council. I already have them really well planned out. They'll be fairly easy to write. But I also want to get through chapter 12 of revising the network and just kind of go back and forth as I feel like it between those 2 projects. But the third thing I need to work on is a horror short story for a contest someone is actually running here on AuthorTube. I don't remember the channel name or the author name off the top of my head, so I will find her and put all her information down below. But the deadline is the end of the month, the 30th of April. It's for an anthology of horror short stories that are, I'm trying to remember how she worded the thing, but it's basically just supposed to be based on local, like, ghost stories in your area. And luckily, I have a pretty fun one here locally in Utah. So I'm basing my story off of that. So if I can be really motivated and diligent, I can get work done on all 3 of these different projects. But I really do want to submit for this contest because I think it would be so fun to be published in a little AuthorTube anthology and just be able to put that on like my non-existent writing resume. Do writers have resumes? I don't know. But yeah, that's the other third thing I'm going to be working on for the rest of the month. But yeah, that's my little update about writing. Sorry that I suck at vlogging, but honestly, you guys would have been really bored with any of the vlogs I could have forced myself to make the last few days. So I would much rather just upload this update and then continue vlogging throughout the rest of the month. Anyways, I hope that's okay. As far as other life updates, as you can imagine, there really aren't any. Things are pretty boring here, as I imagine they are for a lot of people. There's not a lot happening. We're not allowed to do a lot of things. We can't really go anywhere. So it's just a lot of housework and gardening. I'll show you more of my gardening later this month as it develops more. It's not super pretty right now. But yeah, just stuff around the house, stuff with my daughter. I can hear pages ripping in her room, which means she's ripping up one of her books. I better go. Anyways, have a great week. Good luck with NaNoWriMo. I gotta go. Bye.